Hello everyone, we're in a rice field. So this is the beauty of Bali, being able to be in a rice field. Let me give you guys a tour. It's pretty cool. You could hear the roosters, right? Hold on. Let's take a tour. So most things in Bali are open space. So you are outside as well as in the inside. There's not many, this is a Balinese style homes. I should probably get my purse. So we're at a restaurant right now. I'm going to display where I am after I leave. But I want to give you guys a tour. I love this place. It's a beautiful place. It's right by the rice field. So it's very calm. And it's very healthy food here too. Let's go around. Okay, so let's go towards the rice field. Let's go towards the rice field. So this is the restaurant here. And again, like most things in Bali, most things have, this is how they're made. They're open. They don't have a roof per se. They only have a roof, I guess, for raining season. But for the most part, even in a house, even if you live in a home, it's open space in terms of only your bedroom door is locked and everything else is right in the open. Oops, can you guys see? All right, and let's check out the rice field. So the rice fields gets, isn't it cool? So Bali is really known for having great, amazing rice field. I'm actually going to be going to Ubud, where you're going to see some amazing rice field. So that's pretty nice. So this is the restaurant from this end. So this is the view that they get. You know, you get to eat along the rice field. It's cool, isn't it? All right, so I've got a coconut that I've ordered, so I'm gonna go and grab it. But welcome to today's live sunset. Again, right now raining season, but at 6 o'clock it's usually when sunset is. But as you can see from the cloud, there's not much sunset today. Can you hear the roosters? All right. So today I want to talk about love and relationships. So one of the things that I learned about love and relationship is that no one really has a definition as to what love is, right? And I've actually looked into it. I've actually studied it as well. I've had some great mentors, and you know, my background being recruiting and staffing, what I do on a regular basis is to interview people, you know. And like everything in life, if you want to get somewhere, right, you find somebody that's successful and then you emulate them by asking them questions and everything else, and then you know, and you see what they're doing. Now this is where you want to go, right? So having said that, when it comes to quote-unquote relationships or love, I've found through my research and through my mentors and many people that I've interviewed for the past 10 years, by the way. I've been interviewing people for the past 10 years. My conclusion is that there is no one definition of what love is, right? Everybody has their own definition as to what love is. And the only thing that we have in common, whether we look at it from a religious perspective or spirituality perspective or from a scientific perspective, we all in agreement that love is a feeling that we have, right? So it's a very personal thing. I feel this way because this person makes me feel this way. Whether it's a love for a partner, a child, a situation, an object, it's a very personalized. It's a very personalized definition, right? But one thing that we're all in agreement with is that it is a feeling that we cannot put a word to it, but it's a feeling that we feel, right? So that we are in agreement with, right? So today, the reason why I want to speak to you guys about love and relationship is because life is about balance, right? So it's health, getting our health in check, financial freedom to be able to be anywhere and do whatever you want, and also love and relationship. And by having those three major components, happiness automatically comes, right? You can't really sit here and say, I want to be happy and meditate all day. That's not the purpose. Your purpose is to have a balanced life in various aspects of your life, right? And that will automatically create happiness. So when it comes to love and relationship, as I mentioned, through my research, I have found that like anything else that I've been speaking about, and I'm a big ambassador for challenging everyone to think, just rethink about everything. That includes love and relationship and your definition of love and relationship, right? We've been programmed, we have been programmed and brainwashed. And again, that's nothing to do with, I'm sure it wasn't, anything bad, but our parents was taught certain things that was passed on to them. And automatically, because they love us, they want to teach us as much as possible based on what they know, right? But it doesn't mean that it is right. It doesn't mean that it is truth. But it is their truth, right? But now we are in an information area where we could actually think and do some research. And like I've done, interview many people to see whether this works for me. And that's what it's all about. What works for you, not what the masses is doing, but what personally works for you, right? So through my research and my interviews, I've interviewed, I would say, hundreds and hundreds of people that were both happy, unhappy, old-fashioned, the new way of life. And my philosophy is to study as much as possible, take the good and leave the bad, right? And what I found is a lot of people have been brainwashed to the Hollywood definition of love. He's my soulmate, whatever that means, right? And again, that's a personal, I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I just challenge you to define what soulmate is. Do I believe in soulmates? Sure. But it's not like one person in the entire world is made. That's not what I believe in. But I do believe that we have connections with other souls, But I challenge to question, what is the definition of soulmate? The roosters I love to hear the roosters. It's just an amazing sound. Great to wake up to if you're a morning person. But I challenge to ask yourself, what is soulmate and what is all of this? Have I been brainwashed to think what Hollywood has described as love and relationships, such as, Tom, Jerry Maguire, you want somebody that completes you, you complete me, and without you there is no me, and those black and white movie, which I love those black and white movies, but we've got to be realistic as to where we live and what makes a relationship work, right? And it's not those movies, right? So it's great to escape once in a while and watch those movies, but at the end of the day, statistics shows, that this is not working, and this is not what make a relationship last. At the beginning, yes, during the beginning phase it works, but after a while it's not going to last for 20, 30, or lifetime partnership, right? So again, what I want to challenge you guys to do is to just rethink, what does love mean to you from a personal experience. It's one thing to think about it from a theory perspective. I think this, I believe that through my research, but what have been your personal experience? Myself, I've been blessed. I've been blessed to have experienced love. I've experienced love in a way that is not what has been taught in dictionary or what has been passed on to me. My definition of love, of what I've experienced, was actually loving someone unconditionally that I would never love with my five senses. Because on paper, this is not somebody that you are supposed to, I wouldn't say love, of course love from a friendly perspective, but this person was a complete somebody that I would never usually love in terms of relationship wise, right? But what happened was out of my control. What happened was actually something that, this thing keeps moving. What happened is that by being able to love someone that was, again, I mentioned, a complete opposite of what I would love, which is, somebody that's, their background was not the greatest. They were addicts in their previous, life. Well, not, before we've met. And this person was just not somebody that I would ever want to be with, because I was taught to be with somebody that was, again, not only religion, because I was, brought up in religion, but somebody that believed in God. This person did not believe in God, and all those things, right? And again, right now I'm not a religious, but I am spiritual. But what happened is that for a long period of time, I was able to love with a, shell around my heart. You love logically. Yes, of course I love you. You look good on paper, for my previous relationships, not this particular one, because they were good on paper, they were great people, people to be around, they believed in God, they've got a great career, everything was great on paper. Our family knew their family. We loved each other, and it made sense. It made sense to love this kind of person, right? But what happened is that I found somebody that did not match any of those things, and that block that I had around my heart automatically could not be sustained anymore. And it was not my doing, because God knows I didn't choose to love this particular person. It wasn't, but I would say a force or whatever asked me to love somebody unconditionally, and through that, a lot of beautiful things happen. A lot of beautiful things happen from a spiritual perspective, right? Because this person was actually looking to change their life for the better, right? And together we were able to connect spiritually, so to speak, and love each other from a much deeper perspective, right? Sorry, now we're back. So does that mean that you have to be with this person forever and ever? And no, love is unconditional. This is my belief system. Love is unconditional. You could love somebody without being with them. You don't have to be attached to them, but you could still love them, and you could still send them love. I found that from my research and through my experience, that the love that we are being taught is condition. It's condition love. I love you, we must move on to the next stage, which is fine depending on what you're looking for, and then we have those, the marriage contract, which is fine as long as you get married for the heart, not for the papers and everything else, right? And to conclude, because this is a very complex subject, it's a very complex subject, and I'm just a one person, with my own views and many different interviews that I've done. So what I want to do is to share with you guys what I've learned by interviewing various people from various different backgrounds, and we'll call it old school versus new school. And then it would be your thing, right? So you pick from the good, you pick from what, and then you leave the bad. So what I will be doing, actually, if you join the community, in the Facebook community, this is a motorcycle guy. We call them boule. It means Westerners that are coming in and they're like making a lot of noise. We call them boule here in Bali. So anyways, let's let him pass. So what I want to do is challenge you guys and interview few people that have a combination of both. I want to interview, and I have interviews, people that been together for a long time, the old-fashioned way, and the new way. And the new way is a combination of few things. We're looking at a relationship where both are partners. You would call it a 50-50 types of relationship, and the types that we will be interviewing and listening to, from the experts that I have, are people that have open relationships and how that works for them, right? And in addition to that, there'll be other types of relationship where you could call it more female that are willing the relationships, right? So there's going to be 3 different types of interviews that I will be presenting to you guys, but only on the Facebook community, because these conversations are pretty hot topics. And at the end of the day, it's not about who's right, who's wrong, but it's about really listening. And listening with a fresh new eye, listening with not what we've been passed on, but really just listening, and maybe taking a day or two just to grasp the new things that you've learned, because these are not things that society told us about, but it seems to work for other people. Right? Because let's look at this statistic. In America, 60% divorce rate, and from the 60% divorce rate, the 40% that are married, and I would say another 20% are living as roommate, for the sake of children. So that leaves us to, 90%. Out of 10%, hopefully, out of 10%, 5 of them they do have open relationships, and that leaves us with 5% that may be from the people that are married, very happy, and they have the love, the passion. This is American statistic, by the way, okay? And I've done my research for the past 10 years. I've spoken to a lot of people, and these are the numbers that are there, right? So a lot of people, and I see this all the time, they see the statistic, but they still do it. Like, okay, well, it's been proven not to work. What are you going to do differently for this to work? So they go on and do the same thing. They spend God knows how much money on the wedding. Hopefully they can afford it. If they don't, they're automatically starting a marriage with financial deficiency. And the number one reason why people get divorced is financial. Second one, I think it's sex. So I want to challenge you to ask yourself, what is your definition of love? And in addition to that, I want to welcome you. I want to welcome you to the faith that works for you. And that's what it's all about. And internet. Okay, we're back. So one thing that I've learned is when you are in discovery, not to talk to people that have the old mindset, because obviously they will take you back, but to actually just listen to yourself. Find out the people within the community and ask them what they think and collaborate with people that have new types of information, right, versus the old one, because they'll give you the same, old belief system that they have, and as Einstein says, insanity is doing the same thing and expecting different results, right? So this is my thoughts for the day. This is Ruth signing out. This is Ruth reminding you to do the 30 days challenge. Again, the goal of these videos is to become an advocate to work-life balance. Coming from Wall Street, working from Wall Street and New York for many years, I wish somebody would have told me those things. I was very much focused on financial success, which was good, which allows me to be anywhere in the world, but I wish that somebody would have told me about focusing on my health, which that was one of the reasons why I left, is because my health I was getting affected through health. Finance was doing good, and relationship went down. I just didn't have the time, right? So right now I'm an advocate to have that balanced life. Even if you're building a business, even if you're working hard, even if you're a busy mom, is to really be aware that it's okay to be happy now. You don't have to wait until society tells you when you're 65 you retire, then maybe possibly if you make it that far you could have a good life. You could have a good life right here, right now. And that's my advocate. That's what I want to pass on to you guys. So this is Ruth signing out and reminding you that success is in your DNA.